Today, we're diving into a really powerful personal story that kind of pulls back the curtain on the hidden dynamics of help. It's a journey that really makes you look closer at what it means to give, what it means to receive, and most importantly, how we move from being dependent to being truly empowered.
You know, we've all heard some version of this saying, right? It sounds so noble, like this simple truth about kindness. But what if it's also about power? What if that very act of giving can sometimes create a dynamic that isn't quite as pure as it seems? Let's dig into that.
So, to really get to the heart of this, we're going to follow a writer's personal story. It's one that reveals the unseen emotional cost of needing help and what real generosity actually looks like. Okay, so the story kicks off here with something sudden and just catastrophic. Her dad was the family's breadwinner and they had no backup plan. So when he got sick, the family went into a total financial tailspin. This one single event, it just set the stage for years and years of struggle.
But you know, this wasn't just about money. It was a deep emotional crisis. The constant, gnawing need to rely on other people. It started to take a massive psychological toll, really shaping how she saw herself and the world around her.
And this timeline, wow, it really shows you just how long this struggle went on. This wasn't just a tough year or two. At 16, her whole world just collapses. Then, in her early 20s, she's stuck watching all her friends go off to study abroad and chase their dreams, while hers are just gone. And even after college, she's trapped bouncing between low-paying jobs. It's this long, drawn-out state of dependency.
And right in the middle of this really difficult period, a friend, who the author just calls Amal, seems like a total lifeline. Amal's the one who bought her a new outfit for New Year's Eve when she had nothing to wear. She'd send money, perfumes, you name it, from abroad. On the surface, I mean, she looked like the perfect, most supportive friend you could ask for.
But underneath all of that support, a really devastating internal battle was raging. The constant need for help, it just bred despair. Being unable to ever give back led to this deep sense of shame. Seeing her friends succeed while she struggled, well, that sparked envy. And it all kind of spiraled into this incredibly painful question, why not me? Man, this quote, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures that psychological weight. Her circumstances had literally become her identity. She didn't just feel unlucky, she felt fundamentally unworthy, like she was just destined for a lesser life than everyone else. But, and this is a big but, the story doesn't end in despair. This right here is the turning point. This is where she starts to fight back, to forge her own path out of dependency and start reclaiming her sense of self. So here's what she did. We can see the actual, concrete steps she took. It all started with a huge, bold move to a new country, Malaysia. From there, she landed a stable job, and that led to financial freedom. And with that freedom, she could finally start experiencing the kind of life she'd only ever watched from the sidelines.
And these might seem like small things to some of us, right? But for her, they were absolutely monumental. Every single restaurant meal, every movie ticket, every plane ticket, it wasn't just a transaction. It was an act of self-reliance. It was real, tangible proof that she was in control of her own life. And that started to rebuild her shattered confidence piece by piece.
But as she started to gain her footing, something really unexpected started to happen. With this newfound clarity and confidence, she began to see her past, and especially her friendships, in a totally new light. And that led to a very, very uncomfortable revelation.
Okay, this side-by-side comparison is so revealing. On the left, you see all the acts of kindness, buying a laptop, sending money, all of it. But then you look to the right, and you see the hidden dynamic. Amal would dismiss her friend's successes. She couldn't handle it when she started to gain her own economic power. Those long phone calls? Turns out they were never really about her. Amal always found a way to steer the conversation right back to herself.
And this brings us right to the core concept you finally uncovered, this idea of enabling dependency. This is when acts of helping aren't actually about lifting someone up. Instead, they're really about serving the giver's own need to feel superior. And they're designed, whether it's conscious or not, to keep the other person stuck in a position of need.
So the crucial point is this really painful realization. For her friend Amal, the help was conditional. It was great as long as she remained the one who needed the help. But the second she started to stand on her own 2 feet, the whole dynamic shifted, and that support just soured. She wasn't meant to escape.
This incredibly powerful personal story, it isn't just about one friendship. It holds these universal lessons about the right and, well, the wrong way to help,
and that applies to anyone on either side of that equation.
So this, then, becomes a central question for all of us, right? When we offer a hand to someone, how do we make absolutely sure it's a hand up and not one that's subtly holding them down?
You've probably heard this classic metaphor before, but it fits so perfectly here. Enabling help is like giving someone a fish. Sure, it solves the problem for a day, but it just keeps that cycle of need going. And often, it's driven by the giver's need to feel superior. But empowering help, that's teaching someone how to fish. It fosters real independence, it comes from a place of genuine love, and its only goal is to uplift.
So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, if you're the one receiving help, please remember this. It is absolutely okay to accept it. Your worth is not defined by your current situation. But, and this is crucial, don't let yourself become mentally dependent. Use that help as a bridge, not a destination, and always keep your focus on finding your own path forward. And if you're in a position to give help, the takeaway is really a call for some self-reflection. Before you act, just pause for a second and check your intentions. Is this really about making yourself feel good and powerful, or is it truly about love and care for the other person? Try to focus on offering guidance and opportunities, not just handouts that actually empower them to build their own success.
I just love this quote from the author. It completely reframes the whole goal, doesn't it? Real generosity isn't measured by the dollars you spend or the gifts you give. It's measured by the lasting, positive change and the independence that your help inspires in someone else. Ultimately, the most profound form of help is the kind that helps people see their own strength. It's about being a cheerleader, a guide, a mentor, someone who helps them unlock the amazing potential that was inside them all along.
And that really is the final call to action. Let's all try to be more mindful in our giving and our receiving so we can build relationships and communities where kindness is just kindness, where it's rooted in true compassion and a shared desire for everyone to thrive. So we'll leave you with this final question to think about. It's a simple but really powerful gut check for all of us. The next time you offer a hand, ask yourself, is this to lift them up or is it to hold myself higher? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.